I met Derek at a time in my life when everything felt like it was falling apart. I had just moved out of my mom's place, not because I wanted to, but because I needed space to breathe, to grow, to find myself. My job at the clinic was draining. The rent was ridiculous, and emotionally, I was barely hanging on. But he came like a sigh of relief. We met at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I was tired, broke, and emotionally unavailable. But my friend Vanessa begged me, "Girl, just come. No makeup, just vibes." So I did. I wore my oversized sweater, tied my hair in a puff, and sat quietly in a corner while everyone else laughed over cocktails. And that's when Derek slid into the empty seat next to me. "You look like someone who doesn't want to be here," he said, smiling. I shrugged. "I don't." He laughed. "Then I guess we have something in common." It was simple, nothing dramatic, no cheesy pickup line, just a calm, respectful energy. He didn't try too hard, he just existed, and that was enough for me. We talked the entire night, and when the party ended, he offered to walk me to my caravan, though it was raining. The next day, he texted, "I had a great time. You're easy to talk to." It started slow. Texting, late-night calls, random flowers on stressful days, memes that made me laugh out loud when I needed it most. He was consistent, present, intentional, and I remember thinking, maybe this one's different. He told me about Sasha early on. "She was my first," he said. "High school love. We were off and on for years, but it's over now. We're done." He looked me dead in the eyes when he said it. I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He was open, vulnerable, and thoughtful. He brought me lunch at work when I was too busy to eat, rubbed my feet after long shifts, said things like, "You don't have to do this life alone anymore. How do you not fall for that?" My friends liked him. My mom adored him. And I let my walls down. He made me feel safe, like I didn't have to question whether I was enough. So when he asked me to be exclusive, I said yes without hesitation. For the first few months, everything was beautiful. We had our inside jokes, Sunday brunch rituals, matching hoodies. He even made a playlist called Us with songs that made him think of me. We talked about the future, about traveling, maybe starting a business together. He even joked once, "If I ever propose, it'll be during a thunderstorm, because that's when you look the most serious." I laughed, but inside, I started picturing that moment. I saw him in my future. But then, slowly, things started to feel off. It wasn't sudden, more like erosion, silent, slow, unnoticed, until the cracks became too deep to ignore. It started with small things. He stopped texting good morning, stopped showing up on time, started turning his phone upside down when he sat beside me. At first, I brushed it off. He's probably just stressed, I told myself. Work must be crazy. Maybe I'm overthinking. But deep down, I knew. Women always know. The energy shifts before the truth reveals itself. Then came the night that changed everything. It was raining, just like the night we met. I'd made his favorite dish, spicy shrimp pasta with garlic bread. I planned a surprise dinner for us. I even bought a candle with his favorite scent, sandalwood and vanilla. I called. He didn't pick up. I texted. No reply. So I took an Uber to his place, hoping to surprise him. But when I got there, the surprise wasn't mine to give. His door was slightly ajar. I knocked, but no answer. I stepped in, balancing the food and umbrella in my hands. That's when I heard it. His voice. In the bedroom. "I still think about you, Sasha. Being with her doesn't mean anything. I had to move on somehow." The plate dropped from my hand. He didn't see me, but I saw him. I heard enough. I didn't say a word. I just turned around and walked out. In that moment, something in me shattered. Not because he cheated, no, but because he lied so smoothly, so easily, while I was busy building dreams with him. I stood in the rain, not crying, just numb. Like my body was there, but my soul had already packed its bags. The next morning, I received a text. Not an apology. Not an explanation. But an accusation. I think you've been talking to someone else. I saw how you've been acting. I can't trust you anymore. I stared at the screen in disbelief. He was flipping the script. He couldn't even be honest. He couldn't own what he did. So he made me the villain. That was the day I realized. Derek didn't love me. He loved the way I made him feel. Useful, desired, worshipped. But real love doesn't make you question your sanity. It doesn't gaslight you and call it care. It doesn't lie, cheat, and then blame you for breaking what they destroyed. I blocked him. Everywhere. Phone, socials, email. I wasn't doing it to be petty. I was doing it to protect my peace. And for the first time in months, I sat alone and just breathed. It wasn't easy. Heartbreak isn't just sadness. It's confusing. It's self-doubt. It's laying in bed wondering if you missed the signs or if you just didn't want to see them. I cried. A lot. But each day, I cried less. Each week, I stopped checking my phone, hoping for a message that never came. And slowly, I began to heal. 3 weeks passed, and the silence between us stretched like a wound that wouldn't close. I didn't unblock him. I didn't reach out. But the universe? It has its own way of letting you hear what you need, even when you're not looking. Vanessa, my friend who first introduced us, called me one night with a voice full of fire. Girl, you won't believe what I just saw. Apparently, Sasha had posted a story on Instagram. A picture of her and Derek at a rooftop lounge smiling, toasting glasses with the caption, "My man, my headache, my home." The comments? A mess. People tagging Derek with things like, "Back again?" Others ask if this was from 2019, the last time she dumped him for her ex. And in the background of the photo, blurry but unmistakable, was another guy. Tall, muscular, arm resting on Sasha's chair, face turned slightly away, but definitely there. I didn't react, didn't smile, didn't cry. I just stared at the screen and thought, she played him, again. Over the next few weeks, I started hearing more. Through whispers, mutual friends, and Instagram stories, Derek had lost his job at the car dealership. Sasha had stopped posting him completely. And then, like clockwork, she unfollowed him, deleted the pictures, and posted a new man's tattooed hand holding hers with the caption, "New chapter. Peace, chaos." The irony? She used my quote, a line I once posted when I first started dating Derek. Karma? She didn't just knock. She kicked down the door. Derek tried texting me. Once, I just wanted to say sorry. I didn't handle things right. That was all. No real accountability. No depth. Just noise. I left it to read. Not because I was bitter. Not because I wanted revenge. But because by then, I had outgrown the version of me that needed closure from him. Healing wasn't a straight road. Some days I felt strong. Other days I replayed our old voicemails just to hear his voice. I deleted them, then cried for deleting them. But bit by bit I rebuilt myself. I started journaling again, went to the gym, signed up for a poetry class. I started volunteering on weekends. I filled my life with people and places that reminded me who I was before I met him and who I was becoming after. And then, Malik came along. Not in a dramatic, slow-motion, movie scene kind of way. Just softly. He was my poetry instructor's assistant. Tall, warm smile. Dimples that made you pause. But more than that, he listened. When I read a poem about heartbreak, he didn't say, "You'll find someone better." He said, "That must have been hard. I hope you're giving yourself grace." That was the first time I cried in front of a stranger and didn't feel ashamed. We became friends. Coffee turned into conversation. Conversation turned into laughter. Laughter turned into comfort. Malik never rushed me, never asked, "Are you over him yet?" He simply showed up. Every time. One evening, while watching the sunset from a rooftop garden after class, he looked at me and said, "You don't owe me your pain, but if you ever feel like sharing it, I won't run." And I did. I told him everything, from the first hello, to the heartbreaking goodbye, to the text I never replied to. He didn't judge. He didn't analyze. He just held space. Sometimes, healing isn't loud. It's quiet, gentle, like a hand that reaches for yours without demanding anything in return. Months passed. One morning I woke up, looked in the mirror, and saw something I hadn't seen in a while. Peace. Not the kind that's forced. Not the fake smile you put on for pictures. But the real kind, the kind that wraps around your shoulders like a blanket and whispers, "You're okay now." And for the first time since Derek, I believed it. Malik and I aren't perfect. We have our days. But it's different this time. There's no guessing. No second guessing. No silence that feels like punishment. Just two people flawed, healing, learning to love with intention. As for Derek, last I heard, he's still floating between jobs. Sasha's engaged to someone else again. And me? I'm here. Not bitter. Not broken. Just better. So if you're watching this, and someone blamed you for what they did, if they called you names you didn't deserve, if they chose chaos over your peace, let them go. Let them run back to whoever broke them before you came. Because your worth isn't defined by who stays or who leaves. Your worth is yours. And one day, someone will come along, not to complete you, but to remind you that you were whole all along. If this story touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Comment, "I choose peace." If you've ever had to walk away from someone who couldn't see your value. Like this video if you believe karma always comes back around. Share this with someone who needs healing right now. And subscribe for more true-to-life stories that remind you you're never alone. Because here, every heartbreak turns into healing. And every voice matters. See you in the next one.